For waking up with me on this Tuesday morning. I believe it is April the 7th of 2026. Already a week down in April, guys. Pretty nuts. Last night, not political, but the Michigan Wolverines won the 2026 men's NCAA tournament in Indianapolis, Indiana. They defeated the Yukon, Connecticut Huskies in, I believe, it was a 5 or 6 point victory. I fell asleep during the second half, but it looked like that Michigan was just simply doing a couple of extra things extra right, and they seemed to be kind of superior. So we will discuss this game a little bit later, but also our political headline of the day, our big story, is today is Bridge and Power Plant Day, according to the President of the United States, to the Iranians if they do not capitulate and surrender to demands set forth by the United States and the U.S. military and U.S. government, that Iranian society would be destroyed. Even, I believe, this morning, right before I hopped on, the president said Persian civilization would be totally wiped off or destroyed. And that's a pretty large threat, I'd say, there. To threaten to wipe off a historic civilization like that, it's not something to just take lightly. But we know the president has already 3 to 4 times already this conflict has extended his ultimatum. So maybe tonight's just another extension of that. So we're going to be here at the U.S. Capitol hanging out with you guys today. And we already got Hamdi and Parker here in the chat section already this morning. Good morning to both of you. Thank you for hopping on the stream with us. We're going to be talking about a couple of things today. Good morning, and good morning from Parker. Hamdi expresses his concern that the Gulf countries will get struck by Iranian retaliatory strikes and oil and gas facilities. Correct, yeah, such in Saudi Arabia and Qatar, Kuwait, the Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Oman. All those guys could be at severe risk, especially if this continues to delve into the energy war that it's looking like. That's why the president has been, and I believe even targets on Karg Island were bombed this morning before I hopped on the stream. So some stuff going down in the Persian Gulf as we speak. We're going to be keeping track of that. Lila says, what do you think should happen? Ideally, in a perfect world, there's no aggressive military conflict at all. But I don't know. I think, the problem with this entire thing is, from Washington's POV, is the nuclear program. But Iran knows if they just willfully surrender enriched uranium or agree to destroy / decommission their nuclear sites, that Libya could just as easily happen, or Syria could happen. So there's really, the only way through is the regime falls, I think, in Washington's eyes at this point. I think that's where we're headed. Sir Aldog says hi. Good morning, Sir Aldog. Thank you for joining the stream. Mike Adams 03 says hello. Hello, Mike. Thank you for hanging out with us in front of the U.S. Capitol this morning. And Hamdi says ships will also get hit. In Germany, diesel hit $14 a gallon. Yikes. And many are just parked around for over a month, especially in that Strait of Hormuz, that Persian Gulf. They're just kind of chilling, maybe see if they can wait things out. Iran has right for nuclear power plant of NBT and the IAEA. And then Giggle says, where is that? We are here in Washington, D.C., the Capitol building of the United States of America, here in the District of Columbia, the legislative supercenter of American politics. Good question. A lot of people may have seen these buildings on TV, especially if some of the viewers are international viewers, which we do have a chunk of those for sure. So it's always love showing people around DC. You also have the U.S. Senate right over here, the upper chamber of the two legislative bodies, and then you have the lower chamber, the U.S. House of Representatives. Both bodies possess different powers, and that make them unique to each other, such as the House, as we all know, has the power of the purse. That's where appropriations legislation typically begins. And then the Senate, they have exclusive powers, such as confirming Supreme Court justice nominees and cabinet nominees, as well as the trial for impeachment trials for the President of the United States and the U.S. Senate. So both bodies are unique. All right, let's think of the poll question for today. All right, let's do this. Mike Adams says, thank you for the explanation on that. Of course, man. Happy that you're here on the stream hanging out with us. Parker Whitaker says, who did Trump say he would strike on Tuesday? So he mentioned in general that he'd be striking Iranian power plants and bridges. There was already, did you guys see that one? Seemed to be, I think they're the country's first or second either most used or largest bridge in the country was already struck last weekend. So maybe that's a little pretext saying we will do it on additional bridges. And why are bridges in particular important for just everyday life and commerce, but also wars that you have, transportation, moving equipment that can be quickly moving equipment over rough terrain. As we know, the country of Iran is very mountainous. Lots of mountains make it difficult for foot travel by land in general already. If you start removing several of these key bridges, you're talking about increased risk and stress on Iranian air, where they already can't seem to really kind of defend, like they don't really have 100% control over it. So if you're putting more stuff in the air, as the Iranians would be in this case, you're only increasing risk, it seems like. So, and you also just have everyday commerce, like if you can't move medicine or food or other materials and supplies to your population as well. So that can just create stress for the society as well. D.D. Saracen says, if you take out a bridge, you could cripple supply routes. That means children and the elderly would die in agony. And then Mike Adams says, just to let you know, the bridge B1 that was hit last week was not operational, and it was about to and it was about to open in a couple months. Okay, so maybe that's why they struck that one instead of one that was already being used. But I read somewhere that wasn't that supposed to be their biggest bridge or something like that. I read it seemed to be important enough to blow up, at least from the president's eyes and U.S. government. But however, to the not nuclear power plants, but to just power plants in general, if you're talking about modern day societies run on energy, obviously, right? So if hospitals, senior citizen care centers, restaurants, even like just everything needs energy. And if you're constantly energy sectors and destroying, blowing up power plants, again, it's just kind of one of those things. It's just going to reduce the supply of energy and if only increase demand in some cases. So I think that's the play. He's really trying to stress them out in particular, but we're just going to have to see. He did say this morning that he personalization off of the map or something of that nature. So a little something there for sure, but we'll just see if it's another threat. It seems to be at PM tonight is when we would know, if maybe before that. We're going to have to see. This is, I think if he were to extend the ultimatum once again, it would be like his fourth or fifth time or something, leaving this deal or extending this ultimatum. 3381 says dictators and imperialists won't last very long. Mike Adams clarified it was the tallest bridge in West Asia. Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, it seemed to be important in some capacity. Mad Butter says, let's all watch Trump back down again. Parker says, y'all should like his stream. He gets more views, the likes and comments he gets. Everybody, I'll second Parker's little message and request there. So just started this channel a couple months ago, really building it brick by brick and day by day, talking to people with. All right, cool. Let's try this. Yeah. All right, everybody should be back. Hopefully the connection is a little bit stronger now. Let's see. And DD Saracen says, I hope that the channel succeeds. Thank you, brother. Yeah, man. So what's, that you're in Anacostia. What are some of your favorite things to do in Washington, D.C.? It's always cool meeting new people in D.C. Terrell Dog says, we need to get somebody to investigate this, LOL. You know it, man. Already at 13 votes this morning. A little over half of you. Okay, so it seems pretty split right now, but about half of you are thinking that the president will strike Iran's power plants. And yeah, I'm kind of 50-50 myself. I'm not too sure yet. He's backed out of this a couple of times, and it is just a Tuesday as well. So there's always, you can always think maybe he's trying to calm the markets or do something with the markets or something. Yeah, it's just really tough to tell the exact thing in particular that could be pushed or desired here. Parker says, I know you say America first, and you always say America first. Who do you have as your second? Good one. Uh, I studied a little bit of French in high school, and also know that they helped us in the Revolutionary War, right, as well. So, yeah, I have a personal liking for the Frenchmen. And they're Europe, right? They've been an ally forever, basically, and beautiful civilization, beautiful culture. Washington Wizards, nice. YouTube Sabworthy says, "Is it possible that you're even more handsome since the last time we saw you?" It is, and it's true. I get a little bit more handsome each and every day. So thank you for noticing. Appreciate the compliment. Uruguay is number 2. I love how the French protest. They all know how to get shit done. That's what Gro Maloney said. Welcome back, Gro Maloney. Nice to see you again, big man. Appreciate you being here. Haven't seen you in a sec. Hope you've been doing well. Sir Aldog says, in a real world, wouldn't he have to go to Congress to get a decree to go to more cause on that point? When you start attacking infrastructure, you are at war. And then isn't that breaking the law of the Geneva Convention that then you would be considered a war criminal? Oh, yeah, maybe potentially it's all just a bluff anyway, in hopes of getting the Iranians to cave or something. So technically, nothing's happened yet. All he's doing is the threat of it. But the thing is, he's going to kind of do what he wants anyway when it comes to that. They'll find a way to, yeah, they'll just find a way to make sure it doesn't like officially break any laws or anything legal. Legal won't happen. I'm not sure how, but that's kind of how I think they were able to, yeah, like launch this initial operation or grab Maduro, right? I'm pretty sure. My guess is kidnapping a foreign, even if they're illegitimate in the eyes of many, I'm sure that's still not legal by any means. So they're just going to kind of do whatever they desire ultimately at the end of the day. But good question, good point though. Doesn't mean it's right. It's just kind of the reality of the situation. And Canada would, Sir Aldog says Canada would be my second in terms of, what did I do there? I didn't mean to delete that. Yeah, sorry, Grum Maloney. I did not mean to delete that message. I don't know how or why it happened like that. Nurse Rod says, is today Trump's war crimes day? That's what Sir Aldog was just kind of mentioning there. My response to that is that I think right now it's just a bluff. We know already this, if he ends up not striking, this would be the 5th time he's threatened to strike and ultimately wouldn't have. So it could just be, again, rhetoric, trying to get the Iranians to capitulate to Western demands. Could be a good chunk of things. that's kind of and he also this morning, I'm not sure if you saw his most recent message. He said, Persian civilization, he would destroy it all tonight, which is that's pretty that's a pretty big statement. No matter how you feel about it, ultimately, Persian civilization has been around pretty much for all the time, right? It's one of the world's oldest civilizations. Cyrus the Great, Alexander the Great, all of the Shahs, the Shah history, Greek influence to Persia, the Qajar dynasty, all of these, the Islamic conquests, all of these battles, armies, people, one huge civilization. And to say we're going to destroy all of that tonight is definitely a noteworthy statement. So we're going to have to kind of keep track of that as well today. But I believe it's 8 p.m. Eastern time tonight. Maybe we do an impromptu like desktop stream tonight around 8 p.m. or whatever, just to see if anything ultimately happens. We'll kind of follow this situation throughout the day, but we'll be able to keep track of maybe he makes additional statements. He'll probably release more statements or just talk with the media today. Yesterday morning, I watched a good chunk of the broadcast of detailing some of the details about the rescue mission with the service member that was shot down, or members, I should say, but the one in particular that was rescued after a day and a half or so. Him and Hegseth and I think Ratcliffe of the CIA, they were probably speaking for a little over an hour is when I watched it. So Nikola Tesla says it gets worse. Yeah, man, here we are. Trying day 39. Yeah, it's day 39 of this conflict war in Iran. That's our main topic today. We're talking about maybe these potential strikes this evening. Ethan Moore, 9306, says it's Taco Tuesday on many different levels. Good one. Dial Up, 5583, says Trump was hypnotized by Bibi, all for Babylonian Empire. Saracen says there may be people in his ear telling him about potential war crimes and are warning him, but I don't think he personally cares about war crimes against people who he doesn't value their lives. I'm sure the intel I'm sure he's getting so much information at once. And look, and the thing is, what we have to know is if if these power plants are blown up, if the bridges are destroyed. Somebody made the point earlier, Hamdi. All right, sorry about that. That the Iranians would just simply retaliate and strike energy infrastructure in Saudi Arabia and Bahrain and Kuwait, Iraq, Qatar, right? Just all of the other all of the other Middle Eastern countries. Iran would just simply flip the coin on its other side and retaliate that way. So just think about if Iran is going to get hit like that, they have a laundry list of targets that they're probably thinking of trying to go after as well. So there's no easy let's tiny that up. There's really no easy way out of this. Now, unless if the president is planning on dropping like 20,000 bombs or something within Iran tonight, they will, as we've said many times, they will be able to retaliate with drones and ballistic missiles, which is something that they still have the capability of doing. So as long as they have the capability of that, we can't really ensure the safety of all of these targets that they may be thinking of trying to counterattack with. Let's see. Swiss Michael 78 says, hello from Swiss. Cool to see you again. What's going on, man? Train. Nurse Rod says, yep, that what removes the salt from the water or makes the water clean drinking water, or at least picks that speed up significantly, I believe. Grum Maloney says, Aulden, did you ever vote for Trump? I have, yes. Reet Vars says, Trump for the next king. Good morning. Reet Vars, hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for joining the stream. And Grum Maloney says, lame. Good morning, everybody. Just want to remind you, oh, they're trying to move this truck. But hey, everybody, just reminding you, if you're just now joining the stream, enjoying the content so far, the discussion on the stream, would love to remind you, give the video a like and hit that subscribe button as well so you can join us on future streams. We're out here in DC once again today. Hanging out with you guys, talking about power plant / bridge day, according to the President of the United States. And just before we got on here, the President made a comment that Persian civilization would be destroyed or something of that nature. So we're going to be keeping track of that as well throughout the day. Colonel says, I voted for Trump. People make mistakes. And Ethan Moore 9306 says, do you regret that vote? If I knew it was going to be like this, there's definitely times that it's very disappointing sometimes for sure. Z says, good morning. Morning, Z. What's going on, big man? Thank you for joining the stream today. Swiss Michael 78 says, it's so cool how big this building is. Gorgeous building, isn't it? King says, is the space flight to the moon a part of this whole movie? Yeah, we haven't talked about that much. Maybe we can make tonight. I think we'll go live for a little bit tonight. Yeah, we'll try a Tuesday show. Because the desktop shows give me a lot of like clips and good content as well, like those short videos. And maybe we can do like 10 or 15 minutes and talk about that mission to the moon. Because we haven't really talked about that much on the show yet. So that would be a cool little, can make it like a little mini episode a little bit.
Burn the flavor, they burn the Capitol, the boarding houses.
I went to see this Nutcracker in 1978 with my elementary school. I almost vomit whenever I drive by that place now. Ethan Moore says, yeah, you voted for him all three times. I don't feel bad for you. Well, I was not of voting age in 2016. So I was not legally allowed to vote in 2016. But I do see where you're coming from. Saracen says the Kennedy Center. Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was trying to think of the I was like, damn, like I've never heard of the Nutcracker before. The building Nutcracker, but I understand the Kennedy Center reference now. And King says, "Thank you." Of course, man. Yeah, like I think it would be a fun little, yeah, just to do 10 or 15 minutes on it. Maybe just some of the stuff that the headlines aren't covering, or some of the historical significance surrounding the mission. Ronwin says, "Good morning, good morning, Ronwin. Thank you for joining the stream this morning. Happy to have you here. Hope you have a wonderful Tuesday." Bob's T4T says, "Hi, hello, Bob. Thank you for joining the stream this morning. Happy to have you here." The Colonel says, "Ethan, the difference between right and left wing, it seems only the right wing is able to do some introspection." Swiss Michael 78 says, "But you're a Republican, but not MAGA, right? I would troll you a lot more if you were MAGA, LOL." Selena Girl 69 says, secret agent, man. Yeah, man, back to the Secret Service. Another beautiful spring day here in Washington, D.C. Not as nice as Saturday still. Saturday is still kind of supreme in terms of the weather all year. I don't know if, like, hopefully the weather gets that perfect sweet spot again, but I'm sure it will. It's only April 7th, but I am thrilled that the weather is getting better. That means we can spend even more time outside. And last summer it rained so it rained all the time. It would get here was the pattern for 10 weeks. It would rain for like 2 days straight, like pouring, like miserable. Don't want to go outside. And then it would be so humid the next like 4 days, you were still screwed. And then there'd be like one day that the weather's okay, and then it would go straight back to raining or humidity. So hopefully this summer is a little cleaner in that regard. Dial Up 5583 says, "Don't rewrite history." All right, 38 of you guys have voted, and we're pretty split here on if you guys think the president is going to strike Iran's power plants. I think what do you guys think it is on Kalshi or Poly Market? The medal says, "Who had the opportunity to run against Creepala? There were no choices, but a sub 67 and the president." It's Tuesday, and I will say taco, LOL. Sam says, "Hi, Aulden." Hello, Sam. Good morning, man. Hope you're having a great day, dude. It's Tuesday already April the 7th as well. Wade says they've wanted this since the 90s at least. Oh, wait, are you mentioning like war in Iran broader in general? I think that's what I think you mean, but I'm just not sure. Z says the Colonel makes a good point. The left is less self-aware and less aligned with reality. Saracen says, what is your exact beef with the former Vice President Harris? I guarantee that I can match why voting for Trump was ridiculous. Sir Outdog says, so we all know today's Tuesday, and most people go to get tacos today. What do you think Trump is going to do today? Will it be a taco type day for him? And that's the question. I think that's the $1 million question, and I think it's so tough to pick one side or the other. Our poll reflects that. It's 51-49. Yes is barely ahead, probably by one vote. If the 44th person votes no, it's going to be 22 votes apiece for no, and yes and no. So Carolina says hello from Sweden. Hello, Carolina 19. Hope you're having a great day in Sweden. Thank you for tuning into the stream. We are here in Washington, D.C., the capital of the United States of America. Same as waiting for 8 p.m. Yeah, a lot of us will be. I think we'll just go. We'll do it there. So we'll do a live tonight. We'll do desktop stream. We'll do a show tonight. We can kind of split it up. We can do King and my curiosity and a couple of other viewers are interested a little bit in that moon landing, the moon operation last couple of days. So we'll do like maybe 15, 20 minutes on that topic alone and talk about it there tonight. And then once it gets closer to 8 o'clock, then we can kind of pivot to breaking coverage of what's happening in Iran. I think that sounds good. So I'll start doing a little research today, listen to a couple of podcasts and whatnot while I'm at work, get some good info down. Then we might start, I'm not sure what time we'll start it tonight. Probably 7:30. That would give us 30 minutes. We can talk anything about the moon, and then it'll get near 8 o'clock, and then we can just kind of see what's going on then. So let's make that the plan for tonight. So I'll try to get the thumbnail crafted quickly and get the live, like upload the live to where people can like start going into the lobby. Okay, sorry about that long answer, everybody. Mr. Devinar says Trump does a really good job at waking up the American people from their sleep. Dial-up says, I only voted no because I don't want it. I assume he will. And Nicholas Alexander 940 says, hi. Good morning, Nicholas Alexander. Thank you for joining the stream this morning, big man. Hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday. MH2731 says, yeah, mate, we taking down the system today. Low chip of it. Let's see what we can do. Let's see how many mines we can unlock today. Yeah, that praise Allah post woke a lot of people up. Weird if you think what else he has done. Yeah, that Easter morning post, that was, yeah, weird. Then you got Zoran Mondami. Like, it's like they switched bodies for a moment to tweet that. But yeah, it was just like, man, just imagine waking up on Easter and that's the first thing you see was that tweet. Sam says there's no landing in this mission, I guess. And yes, sir, we are still in Washington, D.C. Vargas says you should do the video tonight, then cook some food. Maybe one of these days we'll do a little cooking. I have to consult with some more expertise chefs, or maybe practice something. I'll need to think of something really good to eat. Maybe like, I don't know, something that's exclusive to the show, that would make sense for the show. Something that maybe we could eventually parlay into something bigger. Sir Aldog says, do you think if he says drop a nuke on Iran, someone in the military will step up and actually say they're not going to follow that command? Potentially, but I don't think a nuke is the play for Iran. I really don't. Because I think we can, I don't think it will be necessary, honestly. Because the thing is, they can't, now if they did, or if they were super close, or if they had something else, maybe, but they just don't have the capability to threaten the United States right now, in particular, because they're under threat. A lot of their top people are now removed, and they're using a lot of their arsenal as well. Let's see. Wade says, remember when Trump campaigned on how disastrous being involved in the Middle East is for America? Anyone? The blackmail must be crazy. MH2731 says, yeah, I love this guy. Awesome, dude. Ethan Moore says the general just retired because Hegseth wouldn't promote blacks and women to officers. Here, let's see. The other thing says Pakistan has nuclear weapons. That's right. Yeah, the Pakistanis were able to get their own little arsenal. MH273. So Cole is the colonel. It's COL_OLDS. Blaze of the PJ69 says, dude, I think the end of our time is here. We have really lost it. And sincerely can't have my ease anymore. Gro Maloney says, I suggest you start getting into leftist politics, and adds it's never too late. Let's see what else. Hey, everybody. So, good morning, everybody. We're having a pretty solid little debate I'm watching in the chat going on right now. Got a pretty, we're riled up, ready to talk politics this morning. It is respectful discussion, though, which is what we desire and hope for on this channel. We are free speech absolutists on this channel, as long as people are not threatening violence. We allow everything. So no matter what your political points are, your thinking is, feel free to share it. See if maybe you can change somebody's mind in the chat. Anna or Angla Vivo says, I'm from Indonesia. Good morning. We are here in Washington, D.C., capital of the United States of America. So glad to have you here from Indonesia. Then Unchained Melody 7 says faith first. Swiss Michael 78 says, I don't give an F if I'm American or not. Maybe some view from outside could help you guys see. Don't see that. That's why 60% of Americans read on the 6th grade level. The Clinton Cook says, beautiful shades, bro. Thank you, man. Yeah, love my Versace's. They're definitely part of my little personal style and brand here. Yeah, man, the Versace vision is supreme. Talk about, so like when I'm out at bars and whatnot, talk about an easy conversation starter, man. The Versace's pole. Paul says, I'm not going to spend my life being a color. I'm an American. Yeah, sometimes, so I see something about maybe a message not being seen or whatnot. Sometimes the YouTube algorithm or the YouTube system will randomly net messages, especially it's hypersensitive to when talking about war and other military conflict. Whether it's the word bomb, gun, bullet, explosion, simple terms that are needed to, in the vocabulary sense, to like effectively discuss and quickly discuss military conflicts and war. A lot of times they'll just automatically get filtered out. So there is a chance it just got filtered out for whatever reason. Ethan Moore asks, Paul, what does mean American mean? I think I know what he is referencing. Is that like a lot of people, some people in America will be like, well, because I'm this skin color, I'm this, or because that person has that skin color, I'm that. Some people will say something like, no matter what you believe politically, your color, your skin, your gender, we're all like united together as Americans. So I believe that what he means. Get channels should have a restricted words list. Well, the thing is, a lot of the words that I believe they're trying to use to communicate about war are like words that are totally fine. Like there's nothing wrong with the content of their message there. So I guess we can look into like maybe there's words that should like the YouTube filter should not filter out. Maybe if there's an option for that, I think it's worth taking into account. But most of the words that I would have on the like the banned list or whatever, like already would get filtered out by YouTube anyway. So I don't think we really need a like a list or whatever.
Yeah, it's disappointing because I think at the core, especially doing programs and stuff in high school, where I was meeting people from the original structure So you see where the concrete like walls are, those are the two wings. Yes, that's the center there. The north side of the house, south side. Those two wings did not exist. The dome is just this little like.
We're going to get back up, keep moving. Nice. Okay. Let's head to, let's go somewhere else. We've been at the Capitol a lot recently. Let's go to Union Station. Let's see what's going on over there. Cool beans, everybody. All right, 57 of you guys have now voted in the chat. And so yes has started to grow somewhat of a lead. Not a super majority or a blowout, but it was tied probably about close to 10 or some odd votes ago. And then boom, yes went on a hot streak and is nearing a 60% of the answers.
Oh my gosh, that's.
Yeah, we're going to be heading to Union Station a little bit today. We'll be chilling out there, taking your questions from Union Station. So let's think about this. We're at day 39. It is April 7th now. So this started February 28th. So for the sake of that, you can just say March. So we're basically had a month and a weekend, pretty much. There are no primaries tonight. I checked the primary calendar. There's no elections tonight, at least like statewide primary. So we're good there. And I don't believe there's any for a second. Well, there haven't been any in a second either. There were some in Illinois like 3 weeks ago, and I think that's been it. It's been pretty quiet for primary season, but midterms are looming, obviously, right? So we are now, rest of April, May, June, July, August, September, in October. So we're still, about 7 months out. So every day we get a little bit closer to the midterms, or Republicans have, I think it's like a 5-seat majority that was elected. I don't think it currently is still that number. I think it's more like 2 because of deaths, resignations, and other external factors, like Doug LaMoffa died back in January. Marjorie Taylor Greene resigned from Congress. A couple things have happened. Okay, so actually, Sir Aulden, I kind of did a little fix for that. So I have this on, right? But now, with the weather being nicer, I have a pair of gym shorts on and sneakers. Because I'll start sweating profusely if it starts getting 70s, 80s, and I'm in a full suit. My suits are just going to get cooked. They're going to need to be dry cleaned more often. and the dress shoes aren't particularly comfortable to walk around in. So I've changed my some of my outfit for these walking in the morning and the things. Parker says, is it true that Trump is head of the Department of Justice now? Kind of. He kind of was before. That's another like, I don't know who. Yeah, we haven't heard much on that front, right? We haven't heard anything about maybe maybe it was going to be Lee Zeldin or someone else within the admin to fill that seat, and we haven't really heard that much yet. So I don't think the president, it's a urgent priority, probably not the top though. He's probably trying to see what's going to happen with this power plant / bridge day he's been discussing last couple of days. Sam says, just in, Iranian media says all diplomatic channels and indirect talks with the U.S. have been frozen following Trump's threats. Did you also see the thing on their state media where it looked like they were urging civilians to gather at power plants and like form a human chain to where if the U.S. struck the power plant, it would be like, oh wow, it's very well known that there's the civilians standing nearby as well. Not sure if people are going to do that, but I did see that state media message. Also can't be 1,000% certain. It may be all 100% true as well. Yeah, Z, I think that's the question right now. I think that's what we're all trying to think. It's this time it seems like it could happen. Like the other times I think it was a little clearer that he was maybe bluffing or had ways out, but this time it seems to be he's at least emphasized this round a little bit more. Okay, across the street. At Sir Yanish, what's going on, man? Aulden, anyways, if power plants, bridges are hit, people are going to suffer and not regime. You can't defend this one, or can you, Aulden? Well, I'm not in favor of the war really at all. So I wish none of this was happening, of course. And yeah, like, look, especially if they're telling civilians and citizens to form human chains around these places of infrastructure. And if we still bomb, that wouldn't be good at all. Yeah, I wouldn't be cheering that people get killed by any means. And I do understand that the Iranians would just counterattack with striking just desalination plants in the Gulf countries or oil refineries, oil infrastructure, natural gas, liquid gas, whatever. So I understand that it's not just their energy that's going to be bombed and attacked. It's going to be other global energy as well. So I don't want any of that to happen because it's just going to create a bunch of chaos and stress for people that might already be struggling enough in their everyday life all across the globe. I'd say there's a lot of there's some MAGA in the channel, right? It like this channel definitely leans wing, but I wouldn't say it's majority MAGA. I'd say it's more right wing aligned than MAGA at this point. Just kind of the way the president has governed over the past 15, 16 months, I think has turned a lot of the base off in particular. So, yeah, it's still right wing, but we really don't talk about the president really in a glazing sense all that much here, I'd say. If he does something we like, we're still definitely with it. But yeah, there's some things that we're not particularly jumping for joy about. So Nikola Tesla says, indeed. Mermaster says, but Iran is facing you. Do you feel... All right, boys, we're almost at Union Station. We're going to hang out in Union Station for a couple of minutes today. Probably grab a coffee as well, get us something to help us get going in the morning. Peaceful morning. Not a whole lot of people here in Union Station. Have you ever been to Comet Pizza over there? I'm not. No, sorry it took me so long to answer that. No, I've never Haven't heard of it yet. Do you know if it's like a new location or something? Ah, no, I haven't. Maybe that would be, yeah, David. That would be a fun. That would be a fun place to do a stream from or walk to. Do you know where it is? Maybe we could even go. It's already 10:30 this morning, so maybe could do like another hour, maybe. So yeah, if it's close, maybe we can go today. If not, then maybe we can go there sometime tomorrow or something. Maybe Thursday morning. Um, hmm, what else? Um, so I think Friday we're going to go live in the morning instead of evening. We'll be going around DC, but After Work Friday is one of the best happy hours in DC that I love going to, and it's a good networking opportunity as well. So I'll need to hit those up and talk to people, and also promote the channel as well. Happy hours are great for in real life subscribers here in DC. So we will go to um, do that in the morning. Okay, let's see some of the comments here. Sam says your views on Marjorie Taylor Greene. She said, go for the 25th Amendment. Oh, wow. I did not see that she called for the 25th Amendment to be used. That's pretty, man, just kind of goes to show that how that relationship has cratered, and particularly the last about year. I think she kind of started to get a little skeptical around the same time last June is when the Epstein files debacle happened, and then we bombed Iran the next week. That's when I really started to my thinking started changing when it came to those two events happening back to back. Basically, I think that's when she kind of did as well too. And I think last summer is really what led a lot of this too, just in general. Let's see. No Aulden comment. Pizza is the Pizzagate place tracking. Okay. Tracking. Thank you, Colonel. Um, Mermaster says, your proxy say Israel may not survive this war. Maybe. Yeah, and that's what we talked about earlier, Cernash, is yeah, we kind of took a look at his tweet this morning, saying, yeah, the whole Persian civilization was just going to die tonight. That's a statement for sure. Comment pizza, 5037 Connecticut Ave, Northwest DC. Okay, I think we might be able to make that. Alden Joe Kent went to Glenn Greenwald or Glenn Deason for a podcast. You know who really Glenn is? Never heard that type of Glenn. That's why I said I accidentally said Glenn Greenwald, because I'm not really sure of another Glenn in media right now. And Junior says, you're inside the White House? Close. I'm in Union Station here in Washington, D.C. The train. This is where all the Amtrak trains will gather, or yeah, they'll meet up. And on the East Coast, you can on an Amtrak you can get to like Baltimore in 30 minutes, pretty much. Uh, you can go pretty much all up and down the entire East Coast with via Amtrak. Yup, Union Station.
Thank you for choosing.
Oh, guys. Okay. Oh gosh, I just saw a guy on Fox News getting his shoes cleaned. Um, or he used to be on Fox News. I think he's now on Newsmax, maybe. I can't remember. Um, Gosh, what's his name? Yeah, I'll just kind of go up and get him real quick. 1 second. Yeah, this guy. Does that guy look familiar to you? Yeah. Gosh, I can't remember that guy's name. Chris Styrewall, I think his name is. Chris Styrewall was just getting his shoes. Um,
Did I have with someone?
Sorry, I don't have any. God love people asking you for money in Union Station. Can I get large black coffee, please?
No cream, no sugar.
Correct. Yep. None of that.
296.
Gracias. Gracias, gracias.
Ajá. Mala.
These nuggets. Deal? No, that's the nuggets. The nuggets, 360. Yeah. What kind of sauce? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yep. Bye bye. Okay. Boys got our coffee on the way from the Union Station McDonald's. Let's go back out of full screen. That's true, Captain Ghost. Yeah. Strikes on Cargo Island have begun. Yeah, against military targets. I saw that. That was like right before we started the stream. I saw that. Sergeant Storm says usually always carry cash. Always got a couple bucks on me just in case. Never. Yeah, it's always good to have mug money in DC sometimes. You just really never know what's going to happen with someone because you don't really know these people's situation. You don't know if they can snap and turn violent or whatever it is. Yeah, who knows? Who knows what if they're on drugs or anything. So sometimes you can just throw a couple dollars and like run the other way. Can I get second cup because it's hot? Thank you. Appreciate you. Um, where'd that go? Yeah, man, always got that samurai sword as well. Yeah, also in DC, you just generally just want to be kind of aware, and this is any major city, or really just in everyday life, a good practice just to be aware of your surroundings. Um, yeah, just generally make smart choices, trust your gut. If you feel like you need to leave, uh, just exit the situation, whatever you need to do. Um, yeah, when I used to live in Navy Yard, one of the neighborhoods, some youth attempted to rob me, but I didn't let them. I outran them. So ain't no one getting my money, baby. I weren't too hard. Today, we're in Union Station today. I just got a cup of coffee. We were at the Capitol earlier, like outside the Capitol, but had to go get a coffee. We'll also be, we'll probably head back to the Capitol here in a couple of minutes. Seems as Glenn Deason is a Norwegian political scientist, but a lot of people call him a Russian propagandist because he spreads Kremlin narratives and always tries to legitimize what Russia does. Yeah, yeah, some youth. Yeah, let's just say, I think we all know, I think we all might have a solid idea of what I mean in particular. Yep, Union Station, the Amtrak train station. Also the metro, like the standard DC Metro has a station here. Upstairs, there's a huge, like, that's where all the bus, like Greyhound, Flixbus, Megabus, whatever. What else do they have here? Oh, and like taxis out front. Yeah, a lot of people will get off the train. Maybe they're here in DC for the first time. Gosh, I almost just dropped my coffee. Maybe they're here in DC for the first time and they have no idea what's going on. So it's just easy to get a taxi, say, hey, take me to this address, or an Uber out front. Pearlman 3640 says, good day, sir. How are you doing? I'm doing good, man. Out here in Washington, D.C., just now leaving Union Station, the train station for the city. Doing some renovations to some of the statues up front. Nice, sunny, windy day outside of Union Station. Here, I gotta get my sunglasses back on. 1 second. Okay. We're Gucci now. Sorry, everybody. Dead spot under that little corner. Yep, it's properly fancy station. Fred TM says, good morning. Good morning, Fred. Thank you for hanging out with us on this Tuesday morning. We're out here in Washington, D.C., just left Union Station. So pretty good time in Union Station. Now we're going to head back towards Capitol Hill area for a little bit longer. We'll be taking your questions there as well. Fun fact, all of the museums, Library of Congress, and the National Zoo are all free for the public. That is true. That does help a lot. You can, that's the one thing about DC is that there is always something to do and there's no excuses because all of the Smithsonian's, I believe, are free. Now there's a couple that you have to just get tickets for in advance because it's high demand or it's brand new. Sorry about that. But other than that, there's no real obstacles to having a fun time in DC. Because I still try to go to a couple museums. On an annual basis. Sam says Joe Kent is seriously compromised. Sarsa says Frederick Douglass historical home is also in DC. I grew up 3 blocks from that house, and I used to participate in an Easter egg hunt there when I was a kid. That's a super cool little story. I've been to his house once. I did a tour of his house a couple summers ago. Anacostia is a fun little place in DC. I've been there a good amount. The Berry Farm Rec Center is the pool I swim in a good amount when I'm still trying to exercise, stay in some kind of shape. And there's, there's the Frederick Douglass house. There's some good food. Ate there a couple times. And there's that big chair as well. It was cool to see that ginormous, big ass chair there in Anacostia too. So there's an Anacostia if you do a little research beforehand. Sam says, bro, did you see what Alex Jones said? Trump calling him mentally and physically declining. I did, yeah. He mentioned Alex was talking about Trump's ankles enlarging, that maybe being a problem of heart failure. Alex, in the last 2-3 weeks, month, it's this war in Iran. That's why Trump is losing a good chunk of this, like, grassroots support from people like Alex and others, because it's just, let's see what else. Yeah, sorry about that, everybody. I think it just totally crashed the stream. Yeah. I don't know what happened there. Are you guys able to see or hear anything? You say it totally. Yeah, there were like 20 of us in here, and then it went down to 0 like immediately. Okay, good. But I think I guess I'll wait a second to mention what I was going to say. America 250, yeah, let's go. Yeah. There we go. Okay, great. Yeah, it seems like we're all back. So just want to say, hey, everybody, if you're enjoying the stream, we've had some good civic dialogue here this morning. Got a little debate going about the president, war in Iran. So if you're enjoying this conversation, would love to remind you, please hit that like button. Also hit that subscribe button as well. That's a great way in which you can help expand the show's reach, and we can find more people who are interested in debating us and our ideas, which keeps the channel growing. So love to remind you, hit that subscribe button. And the Colonel asked, do I know about Owen Schroyer? Yes, I listen to Owen every now and then. I think Owen's a good guy. Yeah, I like Owen. I know he had his fallout with Alex Jones probably 9 months ago, maybe a little less than that. But yeah, we definitely love, if you guys hit that like button, also subscribe to the channel, join the comment section down below as well. So yeah, guys, we'll go ahead and go live tonight. We'll do a show tonight, like a real show kind of. I consider like this is kind of a show. This is more of just us going back and forth and chit-chatting a little bit. Also, yeah, we have a main topic and whatnot. I'm still providing analysis and details about the war in Iran, of course. But the night shows are maybe a little more structured. Let's see. Shima Roy says interested. We're heading back to Capitol, everybody. We're almost here. You can see a little bit of the Washington Monument, kind of where those people in the distance are. Jasper says, thank you, God, for President Trump and the strong government we now have again. Lone says, we still blaming Israel for the weather. Then you should thank them for a sunny day too. Jasper says, God bless America and her people, period. Nice day out here in DC. So yeah, I think somebody mentioned this a couple of moments ago, but I believe that we have, before I even logged on the stream this morning, that we were striking military targets within Karg Island. Let's see. Sam says, Aulden, do you want to read Sir Nosh's message on Jones? His exact words were, quote, speaking of Alex Jones, how do we 25th Amendment his ass, question mark, end quote. Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't know Alex said that. That's a big escalation for Mr. Jones there for sure. Alrighty. There's a lot of guys in here that are talking some nonsense, and we're trying to keep this on particular type of topic. Breaking news, 300. Whoa, yeah, that's a lot of money. Yeah, what, isn't that $330 billion? Yeah, man. Man, they think I'm a Fed or something. Dog's trying to pounce on me. I'm just having a seat, man. I ain't doing nothing wrong. Only $500 billion light weren't, yeah. Mm-hmm. Ah, the girdle. Oh, Aulden, we all know you're a Fed. Then Surge Storm says, dog sense good people. That's very, yeah. I am a good person. That's why it senses me. Everybody just kind of got cut off there when the lost connection for a second. But if you're enjoying this live stream, please leave the video a like, hit that subscribe button as well. Yeah, if you're really enjoying the conversation, would love to have you around for future convos. Yeah, we're definitely getting a base of individuals who like talking politics that are from a variety of different backgrounds. So definitely would love to have you here for future streams. Also, we go live most Tuesday and Wednesday nights as well. We have content, we have additional shows, maybe do more of a structured topic. And then I also attend protests as well. So when there's protests going on in the District of Columbia, I'm there talking to people, doing man on the street interviews. Ethan says, you're not a Fed, question mark? Then Z says, wait, I thought we all were all Feds, LOL. Sir Aldog says, we all have separate political beliefs, but we can all agree to disagree once in a while. And the thing that we need to do is stick together as one country, but when you've been manipulated, comma, then I did work for the federal government. Sam, I have been seeing some of these Iranian embassy tweets. Yeah. Yeah, especially what the Zimbabwe one or whatever. It's just one level of, it's these weird ass locations. My daughter is a police officer in the Washington, D.C. Very cool. Thank you for her service, man. Manipulated by a bunch of child molesters, cannibalistic Hollywood, and we all turn a blind eye and do absolutely nothing about it. And Senior Hill says, remove Trump. This level of PR will be studied for future conflicts. I've attended protests in DC for over 40 years. The Million Man March in 1995 was my favorite. South African embassy said we have lost the keys to Trump and pointed to the Strait of Hormuz. Tomorrow's Awoken Wednesday topic, I believe we are, I decided we'll do a deep dive on North Korea. No, it's kind of different, but it's still, I feel like there's relevant ties to North Korea right now because they'll have a future with Japan and Taiwan and South Korea, obviously, as well. China, they have some big neighbor relations. And also they have a little bit to lose if Iran falls as well. So North Korea, that's going to be our main topic tomorrow evening on Awoken Wednesday. So excited for that. And also another reminder, if you're enjoying this conversation, you'll definitely want to join our channel's Discord. It's starting to populate a little bit, guys, so it's starting to fill up with some of you guys. We're in there sending memes, sending breaking news updates, relevant information for us to all know. That could be good potential episode topics in the future one day. So you'll definitely want to come check that out, join us. Z and I were in there hanging out along with Trossway, the Colonel, E9K, and then someone else joined yesterday. So some pretty cool stuff going on in the Discord. Parker asks, what's the biggest thing Trump has done his second term that made your spidey senses tingle? It was, for me, Epstein last June, saying the files didn't exist. That just really, I'd say that's the day that was like my holy shit day. Just about like the entire system and the entire country as a whole. Too many of them won't open their eyes to the fact that things are not going well right now. They've been manipulated to be ashamed of who they are. Lone Wolf says, stop Democrats from electing Kamala Harris. How many people voted for her to be the candidate? Immediately inviting Bibi to the White House and pulled his chair out for him. Don Trump 9362 says hi. Hello Donald. And Ahmed says subscribe. Yeah, I definitely second Ahmed's comment there. Yeah, if you're really enjoying this channel, enjoying what we're talking about, you'll definitely want to hit that subscribe button. I live stream, especially if I'm consistent about evening streams. We go live at least 7 times a week. And in the mornings we'll go live usually for around 2 hours. So so that's 14 some odd hours of content at least each week. I know a lot of people have started to that are active on the channel. Maybe they don't comment all that much, but they will put the phone down and listen to this as like their radio broadcast at work. Yes, it is like real, like it is kind of radio, right? Ultimately, since we're in DC, if I say something that can like gathers their attention, they can always check the screen or do whatever. So it's very convenient for people to listen to in the mornings. So yeah, you'll definitely want to hit that subscribe button to join the fun in the future. Such a nice day here in DC. Yeah, I'm just kind of chilling out. I'll definitely be looking to that Glenn Deason guy. Yeah, sounds like an interesting character. Sir Aldog says to say there are a lot of people on this podcast that actually did vote for Trump, but now they see that things aren't going the way that they were told they would be going, and now they're not supporting. David said, one of the realest things you've said so far. And David, I try to keep it real. I'm a Democrat now, but have voted GOP in the past. I'm a baby boomer, and I hate to see what's going on in this country right now, so I make my comments. In 1977, I participated in a Martin Luther King march to make MLK birthday a holiday. When I was in elementary school, we performed a skit, and my line was "Freedom Now." I should have won a Tony for that. When you become president, would you investigate and put him in prison? You mean the president? See, the one thing is that, and I get it, and I kind of agree with it just because of the way it is. It's just we don't usually put former presidents in jail. Even a lot of times, elected members usually, like even senators and House members will usually get off. Like what, where's, does anyone have an update on Bob Menendez? The senator from New Jersey, yeah, a traitor to the United States of America. All right, the things drop here. I'm gonna try and refresh. Okay, let's try this. Yeah, it was just kind of losing on my end. Okay, so what was I saying? So yeah, yeah. Anyone have a Bob Menendez update? And Gro Maloney, capitalism is failing the younger generations. Lone Wolf responds with how socialism and communism working out for the young generations in those countries. Suryanish says, Sean Ryan said nothing I voted for happened. Yeah, I've seen some of his stuff last 2 weeks. He's really losing his patience when it comes to this. Capitalism is failing and socialism doesn't look any better. Sean Ryan said nothing I voted for what happened. How can we actually have a Supreme Court justice that doesn't know what a woman is? Frankie says democratic socialism would work fine. Z says capitalism isn't failing, it's working as intended. Mark says capitalism is the greatest thing humanly possible. Why would we want to live in a world of poverty and sickness? Support our president and nation. You mean Gold Bar Bobby? Yeah, that guy. Yeah, that guy's a traitor. Crazy. But that's just the way it goes. And the problem is people knew he was maybe not at the level of corruption, um, that was like revealed in this gold bar situation, but he was elected several times and still won pretty easily, I believe, every time. So still, even with some kind of suspicion and whatnot, it took a lot for him just to convince him to step down or resign even. We're going to head back to the Capitol a little bit. Got to sit down for a couple of minutes. But yeah, Sam, I'm kind of with you. The more something is happening, maybe, who knows though? Like we've said this before, this is the 4th or 5th time he's kind of hinted at that, and it hasn't worked out. Hang on. But the comment this morning about wrecking Persian civilization, that's a pretty big one. Like, I think that one kind of made me think, because my guess is that we have the intel and have been, we have some kind of very strong sense in mind that this next attack could either cripple the remnants of the regime that's still in power, and maybe cause them to collapse, right? That's been the game. It's not to, quote, free the Iranian people. It's to get regime change. It's to take Iran off of the board. Once they're off of the board, the remnants of the proxies, they will dry up quickly. They'll lose their tap, their financial tap. So they'll go down quickly as well. And then it will be regional hegemony for the Israelis in the Middle East. That's really the only way this is going to end. Yeah. And I think Iran, now, will these strikes tonight alone cause regime change? I don't know. It could be the very beginning of the end, in the sense that, all right, they don't have the energy to function as a society. Now let's bring in Kurds, or now let's bring in the 82nd Airborne, or some additional forces, and really start going at it. Yeah, maybe there's some kind of trained opposition in Iran that, yeah, we've been trying to get ready, or who knows? Like, there's just so much stuff we don't really know. All of the details. There is most likely a plan for unparalleled destruction of the power grid, which will force people out and get active. Yeah, because that's what they need. Is the night we attacked Iran, the president explicitly said that he urged the people to overtake government buildings in Iran. The play has been regime change. It hasn't been to regain control of the Strait of Hormuz and then leave. It hasn't been just kill the supreme leader and then leave. It is toppling their government. That's the play. And if they think whatever this energy strike tonight, or potentially tonight, will do to accelerate that, they're going to go ahead and do it. And Red Devil, that's definitely still a possibility, right? he might not, right? This would be 4 times already he has extended the deadline or made some kind of change. So there is no guarantee something will happen, but the rhetoric seems for him to post that on Easter morning was pretty telling, right? I think a lot of people probably saw the message as tacky. We know Tucker did, obviously, right? But it got a lot of people's attention in particular, which is why I think he did it. It's a strategic strategy kind of deal to, put the F word in your happy Easter good morning tweet or whatever. Isn't common, I'd say. So, and then this morning, saying Persian civilization is going to go down the toilet tonight, or could go down the toilet tonight. That's also pretty damning, because Persian civilization go all the way back to Cyrus the Great, Alexander the Great, Greek influence within the country, Islamic conquests, empires that existed in then Persia, like the Shah regime, even before that, the Qajar dynasty. You have then the 1979 Islamic Revolution, and then the mullahs and the ayatollahs and Ruhollah Khomeini and Ali Khamenei and the Revolutionary Guard expanding the proxy network. It's a civilization that has, one of the oldest civilizations on Earth. And that's pretty telling just to say that. Well, I'm not really justifying the Easter morning tweet. I'm really just trying to provide context and explain why I think he did it. Like when I saw that on Easter morning, I wasn't like clapping my hands or like screaming. But I'm just trying to, when I don't really try and say maybe partisan political opinion on here too often. I really just I'm trying to get in his mind and think of why he did that. That's why the show's called Awoken, is to think about why stuff happens and what could be impacted by people's actions and words. What does this signal for the future? Who is he trying to talk to with this? Is he just trying to talk to the Iranians, or is he also talking to like us when he says that as well? So, I always try and provide, like, make us think and ask questions about why some of this stuff in politics happens.
Take that out of your hand.
That would be that.
Oh, shit. Is that the line to get in there? Do you know?
I believe, to get in the Capitol Visitor Center, I believe
Yeah.
so. Mhm.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, but I think they move it relatively fast, though.
Yeah?
A lot of people are in and out of the Capitol all day. So. Oh, I'm live streaming right now on YouTube. You want to say hi?
Oh, okay,
Hi.
y'all.
Yeah. What's your...
Make America democratic again.
Oh, wow. Okay, so a couple people in the chat will be happy to see this.
Democratic. Okay, guys? Get out there and vote.
What do you think's going to happen with the midterms?
We better kick their ass.
Um,
Did you hear that? Kick their ass. Okay, kick them out of the Senate, kick them out of the House, and eventually kick them out of the fucking presidency.
What do you think the president will do with Iran tonight? Do you think we're going to attack them tonight? That's what we're talking about a lot in the chat is Iran today.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
You know, it's a crapshoot. You never know what this guy is going to do. Okay, you just have to buckle up and be ready for a bumpy ride.
Mm.
And that's all I can say, guys.
Awesome. Well, thank you for
Yeah.
talking with our viewers.
And
Yeah.
excuse my French.
Awesome. Well,
Okay, honey.
yep. Very nice to meet you.
Yeah, hey, nice to
Yeah,
meet
of
you.
course.
Where are you from?
Indiana originally.
Okay, yeah, you got a bit of a brogue.
Low southern accent. Yeah, low
Yeah,
drop.
I got a
Yeah.
brogue.
Definitely. But
I like
alrighty.
your shorts.
thank you very much. Yeah. Gotta stay cool.
That's what
Yeah.
I noticed
Mhm.
first.
Thank you. All right. Bye-bye. Yeah, you never know who you're going to kind of run into a little bit. Yeah, she was like, I thought something was happening. She kept pointing to something and she was pointing to the line at the Capitol Visitor Center. And she was like, oh, fuck, this line is so long. I'm never going to be able to see the Capitol. I'm like, it moves relatively quickly. You know, there's lots of people in and out. Lots of people have, particularly around this time of year, there's spring break groups. There's groups of, high schoolers, whatever, here for graduations, 8th grade graduation, 12th grade graduation. So there's just a lot of people here in the spring. I'd say the spring is one of the bit with the cherry blossoms as well. The cherry blossoms just bloomed last weekend to see those. So there's just a lot of people in and out of the city this time of year. Okay, got a lot of comments here in a quick amount of time. Jace, all right, Age of Chambers, 9469 says Iranian here if you guys have questions. MAGA Destroyer, Veterans Hate Trump. Suryanish says within 5-6 years, Aulden's running for Congress. And then this clip pops up with saying vote for Democrats.
And like, that's just
According to Upscrolled, he has already hit one power plant. Yet she lost and conceded her loss. She didn't order supporters to attack the Capitol building. Gay veterans and trans veterans hate Trump. Timmy Turner says, yeah, this is the pathway, LMAO. Mark, she lost and conceded to losing. I was a Trump lover up until now. Lone Wolf, when did you serve, bud? Yes, Lone Wolf, and maybe Black veterans should has as well because he has removed the legacy from Arlington Cemetery and Pentagon websites. Fedsurrection was an inside job. Thank you, Nancy Pelosi. You'd think it's surprising to see a Democrat in D.C. Would you be surprised to see one in New York City? David Moore says that's why I probably will be voting Republican again. Pocahontas 28 and Lone Wolf. I haven't gone to a gay protest, but I'm not afraid to. Those people are Americans as well. Cool, yeah, had a lot of comments today, guys. I think we'll probably be on here a couple more minutes. Yeah, we'll chill here for a couple more minutes. So hey everybody, just wanting to remind you, if you're enjoying the stream, enjoying the conversation we're having, is that it's very urgent that you subscribe to the channel. That way you'll be able to know when I go live again in the future. We're going to have a show tonight because it seems like these threats against Iranian infrastructure are heating up. And we've been talking Iran a lot on the show recently, so I think it's pretty important that we cover this. So you'll definitely want to make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell as well, so you'll be one of the first people in the next stream to set the tone of the conversation. Because that's what happens a lot, guys. Like the first couple people, they'll join, you know, there's a couple good mornings, couple good evenings, depending on what time it is. And then usually there's a couple comments that are like, all right, here's the kind of the road we're going down tonight. And that's how a lot of this kind of unfolds. So next elections. There we go. Back to the beepers. What's my old name? Says good morning, America. From Mark says Lone Wolf got it all right. David Thompson says, who has blue skies today? Irene Wolf, I'm sorry. DD season is a furry and believes in communism. That was kind of a funny interaction there. Do not redeem the card. The card, you need to tell me the code so I can verify it. Do not redeem it. Do not redeem the fucking card, ever. Why did you redeem it? Haven't really tried to impersonate the credit card thing before, but hopefully that was good valiant first attempt. There we go. The lid too. There goes today's coffee. We're fired up here. Okay, everybody. So we're going to start wrapping things up here in the next minute or two. Low programming update. We'll go live tonight. Let's try to go live a little bit before 8. I'll post the official time in the Discord later today when I do decide. We're going to go live tomorrow morning and tomorrow night as well. So we'll have four shows in the next 2 days. This being number 1. Our poll today, 108 of you guys have voted, and it seemed to be closer in the morning or earlier on in the stream, but yes started to pull away with it at 63%. It was about 50-50 the entire morning until yes started to seem to run away with it a little bit. And with that, just another reminder, Discord, please join the Discord. Leave the video a like and hit that subscribe button as well. And you'll see us back here a little before 8 o'clock this evening. So I think we're going to end it there. Here, let's end the poll. And yeah, we're going to get going today. So hopefully you guys all have a wonderful day. And we'll keep track of some breaking news updates with the Iran situation. All right, everybody, much love. And you have been awoken with Aulden. Much love.